you want to know quick cultural project for Day of the Dead. Hi, I'm Yama from Yamamoto Spanish Solutions, and this is Yama Culture. And the project is the Literary Calaveras. Okay? So, first of all, you're like, what are literary calaveras? Literary calaveras are basically an epitaph in a limerick, or an epitaph in limerick form that satirizes the death of somebody that's still alive, or a situation that's still alive. Okay? So that's it's very, very, very common during this time of Day of the Dead. So, but a lot of people don't know. Anyway, so I'm showing it to you guys. So first of all, before we do anything, the both the virtual and the face-to-face students do this project. All right, and it's a 3-part project. So the very first thing what they got to do is they have to choose who their favorite adult of the school is. That's not me. All right. When we say adult, when I say adult, it's like I'm not saying, oh, it's your friend that just turned 18. No. It has to be an adult, a working adult in this school. Okay. And so they have to write it on a piece of paper, and if it happens to be you, it's like, okay, cool. They have to circle who their favorite is. If for me, my case, I usually say, okay, if you circled me, okay, now you have to exit me and choose somebody else. All right? Sometimes they're like, I didn't write down your name. So okay, whatever. So I'm totally fine with that. Anyway, so that's in part one. That's the first step. They have to figure out who they're going to write about, without us telling them. Then they have to look up 5 facts about literary calaveras, because I'm pretty sure a lot of them never heard of what these things are. Okay, a lot of them have never heard of what these things are. So they have to look for 5 facts. The virtual kids in here, and then after they find 5 facts, I give them around 5 minutes. Then we just go around the room and just try to get different facts from different people that we haven't had from the other people. All right. And then they have to learn to substitute the word muerte, death, with one of the other words that in Mexico we use to represent death. All right, and I give them a link, and I also write it down here. I basically just give them the info there. Then in Spanish or in English, okay, this is very important. In Spanish or in English, depending on what the level is. If it's 1 and 2, I tell them, write this in English. Why? Because they can express themselves a lot better, and they're really fun in English. If it's Spanish, if it's the upper levels or native speakers, obviously it has to be in Spanish. All right, but in 1 and 2, the lower levels, boom, just tell them, let's do it in English. You'll have fun. You'll understand what this is all about, and hopefully in the future they'll see them and they're like, hey, I know what this is all about. Anyway. So they have to write the literary calavera has to be at least 3 words or more about their favorite adult that works in the school. You have to make sure they have to make sure that it's funny, that it rhymes. That's part 1. And then a lot of students are like, wait, I don't understand how this works. Can you give me an example? It's like, okay. So I usually go here to this channel. It's called Curiosamente. They have a specific. Oh, this is awesome. They have a specific episode about who invented Day of the Dead. Okay, it's very interesting. You can put the closed caption in or the subtitles in English, and it explains it very well. But the first part, the first 30 seconds, they show what literally Calavera should sound like. Okay? Anyway, so after part 1, we go to part 2. All right? So part 1, just to make sure, part 1, that takes them usually around 2 days. The first day you're explaining, and they're trying to get the, I can't rhyme and all this, they're trying to get their mojo. Part 2 is when they, oh, okay. I mean, day 2 is when they start writing down. It's like, okay, now I get it. Now I'm writing it a lot better. All right. Part 2 is this, obviously the second part. So now what they have to do is they have to draw and color the calavera. literary Calavera. So what do they have to do? They have to draw and color the head. You've seen 4 colors or more. They have to draw and color the body of the person that the Calavera is dedicated to, and they have to draw and color the background. So the students, they start with a blank like this, and from there, it should end up looking like this. Oh, my bad. The last part is they should write the literary Calavera somewhere in the paper, okay? So it should end up looking a little bit like this. All right, they have to just use their imagination. All right? And then part three is the best part. Part 3 is all kids. They have to take a picture of the Calavera, and they have to upload it to whatever it is that you're, whatever platform you're using, and then live, if you're in having a class, a virtual class, they have to present the Calavera. They have to read it and explain it to the whole class, and the whole class is going to do the same thing, even the virtual kids. All right, and that's it. And so the coloring part, that's going to take 2 days. Let's go back to this. The coloring part, that's going to take around 2 days. So it actually looks pretty nice, and they get to have all this detail, and they get to color it. And then on the last day, that's when they present it, and you can have a lot of fun if they're funny, and then when they explain, they're like, oh, this is what this person looks like, and the kids are like, oh yeah, that's what that person looks like. All right, about the grade, you can grade however you want. Usually I just give it a quiz grade. It's more of a cultural thing and a fun thing before Day of the Dead. And this really helps, this project really helps the students understand the philosophy or how Day of the Dead is seen in Mexico. Because a lot of the kids are like, wait a minute, I don't want to kill anybody. So I'm writing about how they die, especially if they're not in the Spanish-speaking culture or the Mexican culture itself. So it's a good way for them to understand how the students, how the celebration, at least this part of the celebration, is looked at as not something sad. It's more, you make a joke of it, and it's a time to have fun with it. All right, and the thing is, they'll remember it, and they'll be able to explain to other people eventually, like, oh yeah, their mentality is this, and this. All right. While they're doing that, you can put a bunch of Day of the Dead videos on the background. I put them in loops, and you can just authentic videos from Mexico, from the channels, or whatever that are really good. You just have to look for them, and or you can go to my Facebook page, which is YAMA Spanish Language Solutions. You can go there, and you can see a lot of the links of how a lot of links that you perhaps can use later. All right. So this is the project that I use for at least for Day of the Dead, which is a little bit different than just drawing and coloring the skulls and all that stuff. Now we go a little bit into more what the mentality looks like. It's a little bit more challenging for people because they have to rhyme, they have to think, and they have to think, hey, this person's going to die, but they're still alive. So how am I going to do this? All right? So it's a little bit more challenging, a little bit higher up, but everybody can do it. All levels can do it. All right? So I'm Yama from YAMA Spanish Language Solutions, and this was YAMA Culture. Now, let's see. Any shout-outs? Oh, it's, Alejandra. ¿Cómo estás, Alejandra? And Jennifer Aguilar. Hey. It's a way for all you. All right? Hope the pandemic is not killing you, Alejandra. Espero que la pandemia no te esté volviendo loca, ¿sí? Anyway, so shout-outs to everybody in the Sherwood Elementary y saludos allá a México, ¿no? Anyway, so if you like to press like, if you would like to, if you know anybody that might benefit from doing this project, you can definitely share it. If you have any comments, any suggestions, you can put them down there. I love seeing and reading the suggestions of what I could do next. Also, if you want any Spanish, virtual Spanish classes, Spanish to English or English to Spanish, you can definitely contact me. Or if you need any subtitles, or any translations from Spanish to English, or translations of subtitles from Spanish to English or English to Spanish, you can definitely contact me. You can join my Facebook pages, which is the Board Teachers, we're now around 3,000.3K. And then the other Facebook pages are the Teachers of Native Speakers and the IB and AP Facebook pages. All right. So again, happy Day of the Dead. Hopefully, you guys are putting your offering. It's a very nice celebration, and I make it a big deal because there's a lot of students don't really understand the celebration. It doesn't matter who they are. A lot of them don't understand the philosophy and where it comes from and all that kind of stuff. So it's good for them to know this because they're going to be seeing it more, especially after the movie Coco came out. They're like, okay, now we got to see it a little bit more. All right. So I'll see you when I see you.